Yeah, I don't think Kairi is useless. It's just she's an unexperienced Keyblade wielder going into a big massive war. It's the equivalent of a 5-year-old going to fight Hulk Hogan. So hopefully in the next game she'll do better because she'll have more experience, and hopefully Square would actually call Hayden Panettiere to see if she wanted to reprise her role. I'm still pissed at that! Hello people of the interwebs, this is Luke Moore back with a new review, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi. So yeah, we now have our first female character in the Bring Arts Kingdom Hearts line, and honestly I had this thing for about 2 months now, and I was waiting for the US release to do a review, and more than 2 months has passed and I was like, yeah, I don't know, but then finally, recently, Big Bad Toy Store got in, and the Square Store got in, I'm like, finally. So, before we get into the figure, let's take a look at the box, which is basically the exact same thing, same on the sides, the bottom, top. The only difference here, it says Kairi, and the pictures on the back, here on Destiny Island, forgot what that place was called. Keyblade Graveyard, and that place where she was training with Axel. So yeah, that's basically it for the box. So now let's get on to the figure. Okay, so here we got the figure itself, and as usual, Square Enix did a really good job with the sculpt and paint job. And just like with other Bring Arts figures, there is going to be some quality control issues. With mine, her right leg is a little bit loose, but it's not too bad. She can still hold a pose. But yeah, the sculpt is really nice. She got her hair, which unfortunately doesn't have any paint shading whatsoever, which kind of makes it look bland. So that's unfortunate. But her face sculpt is really good. This probably is the most game accurate sculpt compared to Riku and Sora. Kairi looks the most game accurate. And yeah, you got an outfit here, which is still keeping the pink theme from Kingdom Hearts 2. And she has a hoodie with cat ears, so that's really cute. And of course, with the theme of this game, she's wearing plaid. She's got plaid right on her sleeves right here. And only half the skirt has plaid, which doesn't look that weird on this side, but in the back there's nothing separating this, so yeah, that looks weird. But yeah, her outfit's really nice. I don't know if it's all one piece or it's just a skirt piece and a top, but it still looks nice. It's got a lot of buttons and a belt, and got a necklace, and it looks like a tank top underneath. It's got some wristbands here, and her boots are pretty bland looking, but still keeping the theme. Got the buckle right here, and her soles of her shoes are the same as Riku's. They're just crosses, and yes, she does have panties underneath if you're curious about that. But yeah, overall I like her outfit. And she just looks really good. So that's pretty much it with the sculpt and paint. Now let's get into the articulation. So for the articulation, it is a bit different because it's a female body. First off, the head has rotation. It can look up a tiny bit and move a tiny bit to that side because the hair is in the way. Doesn't have a neck joint though, although you can see, I don't know if you can, but there is a line to where the neck joint would have been, but they didn't add it, which is very unfortunate. The arms can be shifted down as usual, and they can move forward and back a full 360, and they can move up really high. So although it is very stiff, so just be careful of that. There's no bicep swivel, but there is like a little joint here so you can twist it around. The elbows bend that much, and it can also rotate from there. The wrists are on ball pegs so they can move around and twist. here. Torso can move full 360. It can bend not much forward, back a bit, and a little bit side to side. The legs can spread out just only that far. They can kick up about that much and back about that much. So the skirt is limited, the articulation a bit, but that's kind of expected. The knees can bend pretty much exactly 90 degrees. The ankle can pivot right here, but unfortunately there is no pivot right here, so you're kind of limited to position. So if you want to leg spread like that, you can't adjust the feet so they're flat. So that's very unfortunate. So yeah, the articulation is pretty lacking, but it still works for her. So yeah, that's it with the articulation. Go standing here. Now let's move on to the accessories. Okay, so when it comes to accessories, we don't get a lot, but it's just enough. So first of all, we get the thing that we usually get with every figure, a base with the Kingdom Hearts logo here, and 2 claws, one more oval and one circular. So yeah, we've seen this many times. So to ones that matter, we do get her Destiny Embrace Keyblade, and this thing is pretty cool. I really like the translucent blue plastic here that so is painted to gold here. Like the stick part of it kind of looks like blotches of paint, and the blade, or the teeth that would normally be of the key is just a bunch of flowers, and that's really nice. And I love that the stems are like connected to this half. It's got a little rope here and a pow pow fruit, which is made out of hard plastic. I don't really care about that much, and like all the others, it splits apart, so you can put it in a hand easy. Now for faces and hands, we do have just the default, just neutral looking face and a pair of fists, but we also get, standing here, a more serious fighting head. If it'll focus. So yeah, it does look good. It's more serious, stern, ready for action. And we also get just a smiley, teeth grinning face, and it looks really nice. It's cute. Still no shading in the hair. That's really a problem. And for hands, we got a pair of open hands and hands to hold the Keyblade. And as you can see, they now come on these like little racks, so you have somewhere to put the hands. Kind of similar to how the Figma, Link, and Samus were. I don't know if Good Smile Company still does this, but yeah, it's really nice. So now you don't lose them. The open hands are actually the hands that come on the figure out of packaging, but I just put the fist on for this review because, well, fists are more natural. So, and of course to change them just like the rest, pop the head off, and then take the head you want, and bam, just like that. And of course the hands, you just pop them off, then take the hand you want, and just pick it on. It's not as hard to put the hands on because it is still on the mushroom peg, but it's not as like thick as So and Riku's, so it's just easier to get on. And of course the Keyblade, just take this, take the handle, slide it through her hand, if you can, come on, like that, and then just line up the pegs, and then the pegs, hold on, there, and there you go. Now she holds the Keyblade. So nice. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the accessories. Now let's do a little bit of a size comparison. So first up, here we got her next to the Bring Arts Sora and Riku, and she looks really good with them. I think her and Sora should be the same height, but I have no problem with Sora being taller. But yeah, it's just really great to have the Destiny trio together. It's just so awesome. And here she is next to the SH Figure Arts Donald and Goofy, and again, she looks really good with them. And finally, here we got her next to the Diamond Select Pete and Chippendale. And again, she looks really good with them, even though neither of them were on screen with each other. But yeah, overall the size is good. So now let's get into the final thoughts. So overall, minus the no pinching in the hair or neck or side-to-side ankle pivot joints, it's still a really solid figure. We haven't had too much kairi figures in the past, and the ones that we had were based off the schoolgirl outfit, which... So this is a really, really cool figure. It looks nice, the joints are really stiff and don't feel like they're gonna break. I think I said this in the past, but the Bring Arts figures are getting better and better when it comes to like quality control and like paint splotches. So yeah, I do recommend it. And just to have these three in action figure form, it's really awesome. We had never got this outside of like pop vinyls and other minifigures and all that bullshit I don't care about. So yeah, if you already have Sora and Riku, there's no reason not to get Kairi. I highly recommend it just for that reason. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram. It's in my channel description. And I'll see you in the next one whenever I make it. So, bye-bye, folks.